So the way the script of Built to Be first came to me was that there was an advert on a Facebook page from Akash, and I replied to the advert, and he got in touch with me. And since then, we met up. I read the script, we went through the story, and it seemed like there was really good potential for working together on that. So yeah, it carried on from there. There were many different aspects that made me want to take the story on. And one of them actually was the topic, because it was addressing the topic of young carers, amongst other things. And it's a topic that is not very much spoken of, but it's very much there. And I thought it was important to address and raise awareness about that. I also really liked the way the story raised awareness about it, because it was through a narrative, entertaining and emotional storytelling. So I really liked the characters. I thought they felt authentic and relatable. And I also I particularly liked the structure of alternating present day and flashbacks and reconstructing the story like that. So I thought it had a good potential. It was an absolute honor to work with Adam Beacon. He's a great professional, and is also really lovely and easy and pleasant to work with. He had an incredible amount of dialogue and monologue as well to learn, and I remember he came at the first rehearsal and he basically already knew everything by heart, so it was brilliant. Also, he was really open at discussing the lines and the meaning behind everything together. He was open to direction and suggestions. So yeah, it was really a pleasure. And the day we shot with him, we had to do the same dialogue and monologue again so many times, and he never lost the drive, the emotional performance drive. So it was brilliant. It was great working with Akash. Of course, Akash was also the one who wrote and produced the film, so we had to work together on several different aspects, and he is very talented, both writer and actor. Of course, having written it, Akash knew everything, the inside out of the character, but still, it was interesting working together because we went through everything, analyzed and took out different aspects of the character, of the story, of the emotions behind it, so it enriched our work together a lot, the fact that he had written it and he knew everything that was supposed to be behind the story. I was great working with Alex. He's completely naturally perfect, and the day he arrived for the rehearsal, we went through the scene the first time and it was all already there. So we just tried a couple of variations, but he was perfect. I mean, it's hard to say more about it because he just did the character the way it was supposed to be. It was funny, it was smart, and I'd love to work with him again. I really liked working with Samantha. Actually, I think she's really a natural. And I saw, the first thing I saw with her was her casting audition tapes. And I thought already, wow, she's nailing the character. There was a great chemistry between her and Akash. Every time she spoke the lines, she really felt real, authentic. And that's just, she was also open to taking directions and suggestions, but I think she's a naturally great actor. I would say that the major challenge of working on the film was time. Of course, it's a half an hour script, half an hour film, and we had only 6 days to shoot it with several locations, several actors, extras, and of course reduced resources, being a low budget. So that was the hardest thing. One of the things that also didn't help was having to have many unit moves. So we had a unit move during the same shooting day that took a lot of time that could have been used filming. So basically I had to think about time, and I also had to think about trying getting the best out of performances and shots. But fortunately we had a great crew and cast. Everybody was amazing. Everybody was so patient, and I can't thank them enough for bearing with us and letting us get everything done. So I guess one of the messages I would like the audience to take from this film is the message not to give up and to follow your dreams even when you are in moments of difficulty, because the story is of course about Shray having to choose between following what he wants to do in life and having to take care of his father. And basically through the conversation with the character played by Adam Deacon, we encourage Shray to follow his dreams regardless. Another important message that the film is addressing is not to be afraid to speak up and ask for help when you need help, which is connected to the topic of young carers, for example, but is not the only circumstance in which that can be applicable. So there are several of my favorite scenes in the film, and one of them is the scenes in the temple. I really liked the location. It was an actual temple with actual worshippers. They weren't extras, so I think the atmosphere and the visual potential were great. Also, they are, especially the second scene, is a very emotional scene, and it was so lucky that we could use a real location that gave us a lot of space and potential for doing the right shots, and I really liked the way it came out. Another scene I really like is the walking in the park with Akash and Samantha. I think there is a great chemistry between them. We shot it on Steadicam, which really worked. It was a good location. I think it's a lovely scene. So the story is very emotional. There is a lot of emotional roller coaster for several characters. So there were a few scenes that were, from this point of view, challenging in terms of performance. I would say that many of the scenes between Akash and Bal, father and son in the shop, were challenging scenes to perform and to shoot. Because there is a strong emotional tension between the two characters, and it goes at different levels as we go through the film. So there is rage, there is regret, there is resentment, but there is also love between the two of them. So there's a lot of dialogue both in Hindi and in English, and there's a lot to take on, but we worked on it and it came out great, and I'm really happy with the result. In terms of challenges in implementing my visual style for this film, of course, every script is a challenge from the point of view, and this is mainly a drama. So one thing that is always a bit challenging is the fact that there are a lot of dialogue scenes. There are people talking, sitting down. But I think because there was so many emotional aspects going on in this film, it gave us the possibility to work, for example, on camera movements that would enhance the characters' emotions and the characters' feelings in that moment. So I think in the end, also working with Michael, the DOP, we found a pretty good way of expressing the emotions and feelings behind the script and the characters through camera. So I'm pretty happy with the way it worked out.